We're uploading these species ID videos in alphabetical order by common name, although of course you can watch them in any order you like. And that makes Avalanche lily first in line. That's appropriate because it's also one of the first wildflowers to appear every year, often even before the snow covering the plant itself has completely melted. We'll talk more about that in a moment, but this is a good time to explain that all of the species we study are perennials, which means that they are long-lived plants that don't die each season like annuals, but remain alive and dormant underground during the winter. This is really the only life strategy that works in high elevation meadows in the Cascade Mountains that are covered by snow for up to 9 months of the year, because plants just don't have time to grow from a seed to a mature reproductive adult in the span of a single summer. Back to avalanche lilies. They're relatively small plants, typically several inches tall, and with two large basal leaves, meaning that they emerge from the very base of the stem. These leaves are also opposite, which means that they grow from opposite sides of the stem. Most plants will have just one flower growing on a single stem, but occasionally you'll see an individual with multiple blooms growing at slightly different heights. And although each plant typically has only one flower, this species tends to grow in large patches, and it's beautiful to see it carpeting the ground in early summer. So how can avalanche lilies appear even before the snow has melted? Well, they store energy that they made the previous year in their underground bulb called a corm, C-O-R-M. When they start to use this energy to sprout the next season, they generate heat that can melt the snow directly above the plant. It's amazing to see them budding through the snow, as you see in this first photo. Note that the oval-shaped bud is yellow here, but can appear greener or whiter. When in flower, avalanche lilies have pointed white petals and a yellow center. It's important to know that this plant has a close relative called the glacier lily that we monitor on the Glacier Basin Trail. The only clear visible difference between the two is the color of their flowers. Glacier lilies are completely yellow. However, we have done our best to choose plot locations where the two do not grow together. So if you're on the Reflection Lakes Trail and you see something that looks like this plant, but it's not in flower so you can't tell for sure, go ahead and assume it's an avalanche lily. This species has fruit that are 3-chambered capsules that start out green and fleshy and slowly turn brown. As long as the capsule is closed, consider it to be in the fruiting stage. After the capsule gets dry enough that it will break open and you'll be able to see one or more seeds inside. At this point, you can consider it to be in the seed release phase. But if the capsule is empty, seed release is over. If you are very lucky, you might sometimes see an avalanche lily fruit capsule actually bursting open and releasing some of its seeds like catapults. This is really cool. It can also happen if a plant is disturbed, and that's one reason we ask you not to touch any of the plants in our plots. You could accidentally trigger the seed release phase to start and or finish earlier than it would have happened naturally.